Welcome back. Super excited. In this lecture, we're going to talk about what is artificial intelligence with respect to Salesforce itself. So just to give you an idea, right, the overview of what artificial intelligence entails. So it's not just about one specific area or thing. It's combined, or is a combination rather, of various elements such as neural networks, cognitive systems, knowledge, perception, natural language processing that we'll take a look at in depth here, machine learning, robotics, and planning. So all of these elements essentially, or subsets, make part of the artificial intelligence. One of the aspects that we'll focus moving forward, right, is the natural language processing. It has been around for quite some time, but NLP is an area of computer science and artificial intelligence that's specifically concerned with the interactions between computers and human natural languages. In particular, how to program computers to fruitfully process large amounts of natural language data. So artificial intelligence is about making your daily experiences smarter and more efficient by embedding predictive intelligence into your everyday apps. Now, what do we mean by predictive intelligence, right? So it's something that you're going to predict based on existing or past behavior. Very similar, so if you've heard of the term regression analysis or multiple regression in statistics, it works on similar patterns. So let me give you some examples. For instance, in your iPhone, there's Siri, right? It acts as a personal assistant, and it uses voice processing. So you give commands to the software that executes it for you. For example, if you need to call someone, you can simply call your personal assistant and say something like, call John, and it's going to automatically dial John's number. Similarly, Facebook provides recommended photo tags using image recognition, and Amazon also provides products using machine learning algorithms. So you get the idea, right, what natural language processing is all about. So let me give you a better example. If you want to try out this formula, right, so there's lots of data, in other words, big data, right? That's the deal these days and in future. So we're working with big data. In addition to big data, enterprise organizations are moving to the cloud, okay? So cloud computing is on the rise exponentially. So combine these two, plus you need some good data models or analytics, because what are you going to do with this large data sitting on the cloud? So you need good data models that will eventually, as a result, allow you to create smarter applications. And that's exactly where the concept of artificial intelligence comes in, where it encompasses data models, big data, and then the processing power. So as developers, we're more concerned about creating these models and embedding them into our applications. So with respect to Salesforce, CRM plus artificial intelligence obviously is a win-win situation. So let me give you a real-world use case or scenario. Let's say a bank has a custom banking application built on Salesforce Lightning platform. Now we know that machine learning algorithms can understand how humans agents diagnose and solve customer problems by learning from, like I mentioned earlier, historical data over time. So based on that historical data, you could predict the behavior or intent. So what if we surfaced an agent-like assistant powered by machine learning in the bank's mobile app? Well, that's going to give you a lot of benefit, because that app is going to automatically answer a lot of customer queries, so you don't need to have a physical agent present at all times. In other words, at least majority of the basic answers can be provided by this assistant. So that's the beauty of working with artificial intelligence and incorporating this with the Salesforce CRM. So again, like I said, here's the solution based on our use case. So the artificial intelligence assistant would know, for example, when the customer is based on their historical banking activity and the best way to answer the question based on their past questions or inquiries. So the customer can get their question answered faster, all from their mobile device, without having to make a phone call or visit the bank's website. So again, you get the idea, right? What essentially we're doing as developers is we're cutting down the time and making apps easier to respond to the user, in this case, the bank's customer. So this means that the customer can get their questions answered quickly in a self-service manner with fewer touch points. Support agents can get more time back in their day, allowing them to provide one-to-one customer support for top-tier accounts. So basically it frees up your actual human hours so that they can do more important tasks. And in the end, customers are happier, and happy customer means higher revenue, retention, and more money for the bank. So this gives you an idea of a use case and the solution. So as a developer, you need to start thinking how to create these apps, how to make these apps efficient based on this big data that we have to provide a benefit to our end customers. So NLP in a nutshell, right? As I mentioned earlier, just remember NLP is an aspect or a subset of artificial intelligence in which computers basically analyze and understand your natural language. There has been a resurgence in interest in NLP because advances in deep learning have made NLP even more powerful and useful in solving real-world problems. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning, since I mentioned the word deep learning, right? So let's take a look at what that really is briefly. So in deep learning, the focus is on creating systems that basically mimic the function of a human brain, intelligence functions like thought or decision making. So they work on sophisticated algorithms that are run against huge data to create neural networks. And these networks learn from the data provided and can then return predictions for new data. So it works on a similar concept, right? So historical data, but in this instance, you're actually diving deeper into data. For example, enough data neural networks can analyze text and make decisions about what the text means. Here's a use case, give you a better example to clarify. So for example, look at the statement that's called, "They are visiting relatives." Now that sentence could mean several things. For instance, that could mean that they have gone to visit relatives, or that they are relatives who are visiting. So a human can read the sentence in context and understand what it means. Now, deep learning applied to NLP implies that now computers can also understand language that is, it was previously unable to. So given the context of a sentence, computers can now correctly interpret ambiguous grammar. The answer within the Salesforce arena is called Einstein intent. So we're going to take a look at the Einstein language and how Einstein works. But just briefly, what Einstein does as part of Salesforce element or a product or a service, it allows you to actually take big data and then analyze it, use artificial intelligence or apply artificial intelligence technique, and then provide the answer. And that answer can then be forwarded to the respective departments. So it could be sales, accounting, or customer service. All right, so in this lecture, I wanted to talk about rather the concept of artificial intelligence with respect to Salesforce itself. So super excited. Hope this helps. Let's move to the next lesson.